Welcome to the 25 Keys to Love, where you learn to transform negative behavior in your love life and create enriching relationships. These keys are astrological patterns, and you can find them in the Love Match functionality at astrology-aspects.com. So, this is what happens when the strongest contact to Venus, which represents love and attraction, is from Uranus. Now, imagine that your partner has this aspect. How are they going to be acting with Venus-Uranus contacts? First of all, you're going to be attracted to the fact that they're so electric, they're exciting. There's a kind of vibe about them, which is like really stimulating. And they kind of got a high tolerance of risk. They love a bit of excitement. It's typical with Venus-Uranus that there's a kind of what I call airport love. You're traveling or you meet in the airport. This is sort of thing where, you're turned on by this kind of separation. You get separated and then you come together, then it's all electric. The whole relationship can be kind of off-on. And people with Venus-Uranus, they kind of, often they don't marry someone or get together with someone local. They're really interested in international relationships, or people from a culturally different background. They just want a lot of stimulation and excitement. Still, there's this feeling with them that, sometimes they're real passionate, sometimes it's all on, their relationship is all on, and suddenly, it's like, whoa, it's all detached, and suddenly it's no big deal at all. And it can be very disorientating for you. But the actual reason that the relationship is like an off-on relationship is that these people have, earlier in life, they've had a relationship shock. There has been some kind of shock or sudden separation in their childhood. They may have been sort of alienated somehow from a parent or a sister or a friend. And it's actually such a shock that they dissociate. They have this capacity to almost go out of their body and dissociate. And later on in life, this becomes like relationships where they live separately. They can have a great relationship living, but not living together. Or it's sort of the relationship deteriorates into a friendship. So, if you're with this kind of person, you're probably going to be asked. You're going to be disoriented really by when the relationship suddenly cools. It's great, hot, and then it suddenly cools. And when it cools, you feel like you're cut off. You feel like you're cut off. It's almost like the partner has created an electric fence, or it's almost like there's a circuit breaker that suddenly cuts off the relationship. And you need to know that actually they want contact. It's a defense mechanism. But it's like not something they're conscious of. They pride themselves on being really conscious, but they're not conscious that they're breaking. The reasons why they're breaking the contact. And actually, they need some physical touch to bring them back into contact with their body. But, Venus-Uranus in a partner's horoscope, it's going to make a really exciting relationship with a lot of freedom on both sides. You can explore the world, explore consciousness, raising activities together. So what you're going to do, if you got the Venus-Uranus, you're probably going to see yourself as a liberated person. You may kind of look at your relationships and think, well, okay, I never committed there. And you may kind of have to admit, the relationship's like off and then they're on, and you may have had relationships where you kind of live separately, but you think it's okay. You've got lots of friends, and they're important. When you're actually in a relationship, you're going to probably get bored after a while, especially if the partner likes to be, watching TV, binging Netflix. You kind of get restless because what other people see as a kind of cozy thing, you don't get it, and so there's a kind of coolness. You do something else and all that, but you need to know that. Actually, this idea of everybody being equal, nobody owns each other, we can be friends and that. It's a defense mechanism. It's your way of dealing with separation anxiety. You'll know this feeling of dissociation. You dissociate from the relationship, and when you do, you kind of feel like spacey, lost in space. It doesn't feel so good. But you'll rationalize it, and you'll have really good arguments for, this, the reason for why you do it. But it's nothing to do. What you need to understand is there's a physical dissociation, and the rational mind is not helping you with this. So, don't be deceived by these concepts of freedom. You shouldn't give way to this urge for separation, the kind of idea that you can always leave the relationship if any trouble arises. You need to recognize the emotional needs of others. And when you get this sense of distance, you kind of feel what it's all about. Catch yourself dissociating. Remember the early experiences of separation. And when you cracked all that, you're going to have a really rewarding and exciting relationship.